Hi everybody, I'm Louise and I work at Absafe. I've got the absolute delight today to introduce you to Carole, who's the lead consultant and fundraising strategist of Grey Hope Bay. Does that sound
Yeah,
okay?
you did it. Thumbs up.
Brilliant. I wondered, thank you so much for joining us today, because what you do is honestly, it's brilliant, and it's reminded me of my love of drumming. So that's been a nice I suppose to re-enthuse me on that. And when we're out of this lockdown, I'm definitely going to join a drumming group. However, I wonder if you could tell the young people that are watching what you do.
Well, Louise, what I do is very varied. So I do more than one thing. My main job that I do is fundraising and project development at Grey Hope Bay. So Grey Hope Bay is a charity based in Tory, which is in Aberdeen. And we are fundraising to build a community space and cafe at Tory Battery, which is a historic monument. And it'll be a place that people can come and enjoy the views of the coastline and see the dolphins, because Aberdeen is actually one, if not the very best place to see dolphins from the shoreline in the UK and even in Europe. So it's a little known fact, but it's quite amazing. And we're bringing that to just to the forefront and making it a very unique destination for people in Aberdeen, and hopefully coming from further abroad when they can again.
So what is the joy about your job? What do you find joyous?
Well, I think that at the very core of it is really that I really identify with the purpose of it. So my passion coming into the project 2 years ago was really based on my love for the sea and my desire to help protect the sea. So I came in with this angle, it was a time when a lot of people were talking about plastic in the sea and how we can remove it and how we can help the sea creatures and just generally the health of the planet. And so I was very passionate about that. And then when I connected with Fiona, who's the founder of the project at Grey Hope, she shares that passion, and we kind of together came and saw that, well, maybe we could do a lot to help that cause and that purpose for our city, and hopefully inspire people around the world. So that's really what I love, is that I feel like the work I do every day really does have a meaning and a purpose that I love, and it's personal. Yeah.
I've done a couple of these, I suppose, sound bites now. And I think what has come across is that if you're passionate about something and if you really have a belief system in it, then actually work becomes not easy, but it becomes something you definitely commit to, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a really important difference. It doesn't make the work easy, but when it does get tough, or when you kind of do have to put your head down and get through something that you're working on to make the project advance, you have that passion that carries you and gets you through. And then I think there's a lot of satisfaction in seeing your successes and watching what grows, because when you're in alignment with that why, that purpose that you have, then your actions are always going to be towards that. And so you can see, as you look back over your shoulder at everything that has happened, this really beautiful journey that you've been on, and that always involves people who share a passion with you and a community that's created around that. And that is really quite a satisfying way to work, and something that I'm really grateful for.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good message as well. What do you find challenging about your role?
Well, I think that the challenge really lies within the fact that we're creating things as we go. We have a vision, we have an idea, and that idea came from Fiona, the founder, and together we're working on making that happen. What that means, though, is sometimes we're in spaces where there's a lot of unknown.
Yeah.
And we're not exactly sure how we're going to get to our goals. And, we know that we really want this to happen. We have an idea of how we can do it, but then we have to go through the process of just kind of figuring out. And sometimes some things work, but a lot of times it doesn't work the first time, and we have to try again, and we have to try something new, or we get turned down for something, and you have to pick yourself up and say, okay, what next? So, we call it pivoting. But in real life, it means that sometimes, you don't really know exactly how things are going to turn out, and you have to be comfortable with that uncertainty.
Yeah.
So that can be a challenge, but it's also, it creates a space where you can be really innovative and, create things that are new, which is exciting.
I think it's about sometimes a bit of bravery. And even though I suppose sometimes it can feel quite lonely, but you have to be a bit brave and say, right,
You have to be brave. Yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
try this. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. We need to figure a way how this will work. What advice would you give young people who are watching this?
Well, I think that, I have two daughters and they're 13 and 9. And so this is kind of, a subject that I'm thinking about a lot, because I see them going into my 13-year-old is already in upper school, and, they're going to be making decisions, or she's going to be making decisions about her future soon. And what I really want her to understand, or to feel, is that she is looking for her why, and, not so much what she wants to do. I think that will come through, but why you're working, why you're showing up every day, what is it that really drives you? So, pick your passion and go for it.
And I think it's important to mention is that you might not know now what your passion is. I mean, I'm talking about when I was younger, and sometimes it comes a bit later on, and that's okay as well.
Absolutely.
Because we don't know our roadmaps. And
I think that's absolutely really true. So for instance, I started off, because I'm from Canada. So, I was at high school, and then when I chose my my major for my university studies, I did English literature. And I did that because at the time I loved it and I found it so interesting. And that led me down all kinds of roads, to different jobs, whether that was ending up in a more business side of communications. Now I'm doing fundraising, and all kinds of different things have come about from that. I've been a journalist. I have written copy for big companies, like all kinds of different things. I've even written speeches for presidents of certain companies. So, but all that came because when I was 17, I decided that I just really loved to read.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked to write and express myself clearly, and that just brought me joy. So I wouldn't doubt your joy and your passion for what you want to do.
So I know that you have something by you there that you wanted to share that you've So I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about that item.
Sure. Well, I'll just pull it up. So I have two sides to my professional life, which we haven't discussed the second one, but I have a gong here. It's not a dinner gong. It's a gong. So my other profession is I'm a yoga teacher, and I do something called sound therapy. And so this is my smallest gong. It's just a tiny gong. It doesn't sound very good over Zoom, but I'll just give it a little strike. Sometimes it doesn't go through, which has been a challenge over this lockdown. And I have very big gongs as well. And so I teach yoga. So that's movement and breath and meditation and different ways to move your body and use your mind to understand yourself better and create self-awareness. And then I use these big gongs as well. And I play them for people, and they relax and they meditate, and they have a very unique journey in that with the sound. So it's something I'm really passionate about as well.
I think that's great. And you could hear that gong, I think, quite well through Zoom.
Oh, good. I never know, because sometimes the Zoom doesn't actually translate it really well. So it's something that we've been working with my community of gongers, to try to find ways to still connect people with sound over this new digital reality.
Yeah. No, but you could definitely feel the vibrations of that. So thanks for sharing that. My final question is, if you had a magic wand, what would you change?
It's my gong mallet. If I had a magic wand, what would I change? Well, I think this makes me think of a friend of mine who asked me a question a couple of years ago and said, what would your superpower be? And I feel like there's a bit of a relationship there. I think it would be to really help people, or just to any situation where there's a lot of fear and anxiety, for people to be able to ping and just put a nice big bubble of love all around it, because it really is the antidote to a lot of our issues. And if we could choose to see things through the lens of love, I think a lot of our fears and anxieties would be really set aside, and we could connect and create a lot more community and help each other through all these challenges.
I think that's amazing. I think love and compassion are very underrated, and I think you're right. I think the word antidote is a great analogy, actually. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that, and I want to thank you on behalf of Absafe for spending this bit of time, and for sharing your gongs as well. I mean, that's really just ignited my passion for drumming, which is amazing.
Well, I hope we can meet one day, maybe outside with drums and gongs, and just
I think that's
good time.
Yeah, I think that sounds like my perfect day as well, Carole.
Yeah,
so
me too.
Yeah, so I want to thank you. Thank you so much, and hopefully we will meet soon. So thank you so much.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.
And you.